All right. So, hello everyone. I am going to assume that my presentation is visible to all of you and I am audible as well. So, I will be talking about the current state of DNS root servers and a couple of reasons to run a local copy of the root zone in the recursive resolver. So, here is the summary of the current state of DNS root servers. The access time or the round trip time to the root servers is dependent on a couple of factors. One of that is availability of the root server within the country, and the second is optimal routing. From a security perspective, transactions between the recursive resolvers and the root servers aren't encrypted, unlike in the case of DOH or DNS over HTTPS or DOT, DNS over TLS, which encrypt the communication between the stub resolver and the recursive resolver. From a resiliency perspective, the DNS root server system uses IP Anycast with 12 root server operators and 1,402 Anycast instances of the root server in different parts of the world. So the broader question that I am asking is, since the DNS root server infrastructure does not penalize abuse, should we continue abusing it? So ICANN Office of the Octo or the Office of the CTO did a study sometime last year in April looking at traffic patterns to the root server. And ICANN is one of the root server operators managing the L root server, which they call as ICANN Managed Root Server or IMRS. So they basically looked at traffic patterns at few of the instances located in France. And one of the observations was the volume of junk queries to the root. So Chromium-based browsers accounted for 1/3 of the junk queries to the IMRS instances. So for folks who may not know, Chromium-based browsers send a random string which is 7 to 15 characters each time on startup. Apparently, this has been fixed starting with Chromium versions 87. They did this to check the existence of a captive portal in the network. So apart from Chromium, there was also a significant increase in junk queries to the root from other non-existent domains. So the link to the paper is available in the references section of this presentation. I will also share it in the Discord as well. So in the context of access to the root, from an access to the root server perspective, here is a trace route from AS9498 to the iRoot server. So NetNod is the root server operator, which basically has a Anycast node in Mumbai. And as you can see, that traffic to iRoot is transiting outside India. Here is one more example, again from AS9498 to the KRoot server, which is managed by the right NCC, the root server operator. And they have multiple Anycast instances in Mumbai as well as Noida. And here again, you can see that traffic is transiting outside India again. Now, point being, this is not just generally happening in the case of just AS9498, but also in the context of other network operators. This can be seen very widely. So a possible solution is RFC 8806, which is running a root server local to a resolver. The objectives of RFC 8806 is to prevent snooping of DNS transactions between the recursive resolver and the root servers. Also decreasing the access time or the round trip time to the root servers. Faster negative responses. This basically eliminates junk queries to the root, which I talked about a little while earlier. Also increase the resiliency of the root server system. Reduce the attack surface as less DNS transactions would traverse the network, and privacy as well, hide queries which are being sent to the root. From an operational point of view, it basically involves running an up-to-date zone server on the same server which is running, which could be on the loopback or which could be also in the recursive resolver software. So the recursive resolver basically will use that as the upstream for root. And the recursive resolver will also use DNSSEC to validate the responses from the local instance running on the resolver system. So here here is a list of all root server operators or other all root servers which provide an option to do a zone transfer, and one can download a copy of the root zone. Using a dig command, you could do a manual copy of the root zone using via AXFR. Also, in bind versions 9.13.3 onwards, there is an option which provides a mechanism called as slaving of the root zone. So the same functionality of downloading or doing an AXFR of the root zone can be done within bind as well. Having said that, here is interesting. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. My apologies. So I'm hoping that you are able to see the screen now. I'm assuming that once you go full screen, okay, let me see. So I'm hoping this is visible as well. So having said that, here is an interesting project called as Local Root, which I've been using for some time now. And Local Root is like, but not equal to RFC 8806 because it also does a lot of other things as well. So this is a project by Wes Hardiker from the University of Southern California and ISI. The idea is basically to run a local copy of the root zone in the recursive resolver configuration. It uses TSIG to communicate and pull the root zone copy from the local root servers. The project also notifies whenever there is a change to the root servers. And the root zone data is DNSSEC signed and it's cached as well. So there is a configuration available for bind, unbound, and NSD as well. The other goal of a local root project is to speed DNS resolution. So let me see if I can go to the next slide. So let's run a root server from home and serve root. I primarily wanted to do a quick demo, but assuming that there are a lot of moving parts with respect to Discord, I have screenshots instead. So in the context of running using the local root project, here is the website localroot.isi.edu, and you basically have to create an account. Once you create an account, you create a TSIG key. The TSIG key allows you to basically primarily add a server, which is basically having the IP address of your recursive resolver. And once you do that, what it gives you is basically a configuration generator, which provides multiple options where you can select whether you would like to, if you're running bind or unbound or any specific scenario. This is the configuration generator, and here is the output in a log in the context of pulling the root zone from the local root servers as well. What can possibly go wrong? It's basically one more element in the DNS infrastructure, and in case if the content of the root zone cannot be refreshed before the expired time, the server must return serve fail, right? So with RFC 8806, this requirement has been modified such that if the root zone data is unavailable from the local instance, then the resolver can shift to contacting the remote root servers on the internet as well. With that, here are the references. And in case if you have any questions, this is my contact information. Please feel free and get in touch. I will check if I have questions which I can possibly answer. So there is one question which says, will DNS leak tests start to fail by running a local root zone? That's not going to be the case, primarily because what is happening here is you're pulling the copy of the root zone, right? So in the case of DNS leak tests, say for example, that is your recursive resolver IP address is actually hitting in the context of the tests like DNS leak test for that matter. And with that, I thank you for the opportunity, and I will answer additional questions in the Discord channel. Thank you.